Hey guys, Snoozy here with the first video for Diablo 4. Just wanted to go over a quick little, not really a guide, we're not going to go super in depth like I normally do with the videos. It's day 3 since Diablo's been out for the early access. So this is the second character I leveled here. The first character was the Necro, this is a Sorceress. We'll be going over how I leveled the Sorceress, and it turned out really good. I actually preferred this over the Necromancer. It was a lot more my play style, and it felt a lot better in the end. Mostly we're using ice shards. I don't know, it seems pretty broken to me. It seems to be the strongest ability I could find. Essentially, you can just spec like this as soon as you unlock the skills. There's only really one piece of gear that really matters, and you can unlock that really early on in the game. So what we're going to do is, once you have it unlocked, it'll unlock here in Dead Man's Dredge. Dead Man's Dredge is where you're going to get the enchant that we need, which is on my amulet. There it is. Imprinted. Ice shards pierce 5 to 7 times, dealing 17 to 13% less damage per subsequent enemy hit. You don't even really need this. It's just super helpful. And you can get it in Act 1 all the way down in Dead Man's Dredge. So you can just beeline down there, complete the dungeon, and grab it. That's really the only thing you need. Everything else is just there. This is Meteors. We don't even use that. Incinerate. We don't even use that. Distant enemies. Okay, who cares? And then the rest are just rare. Or I guess there's a Blizzard here. We don't use it. Doesn't matter. So as you can see, I really didn't min-max stuff. I mean, I don't even have stuff in sockets. Like, I just didn't care. I do upgrade my weapon to level 3. Depending on the item. Especially once the level starts slowing down, it does help. You can upgrade the blacksmith. As far as consumables, I'm pretty much just using weak iron barb elixir. I don't care about the buffs for leveling, I just want the 5% experience, and I had a lot of stuff. So really, whatever you're doing there to level with, if you got a bunch, make them. Use experience. I like the low level ones because I don't think the buffs are super worth it, especially for leveling. But with that said, let's go ahead and get straight on into it. We literally just hit 50. I didn't even put my Paragon point in yet. I didn't gamble. I didn't upgrade. I didn't do anything. This is just the gear and the skills that I used to get to level 50, and it worked really well. Frostbolt is going to be our generator here, and we're going to spec into the more mana on chilled or frozen. We do a lot of chill. We do a lot of freezing. From there, we're going to do 5 points into ice shards. That's our bread and butter core skill here. And we'll go ahead and put 1 point in there. You have 40% chance to ricochet to another enemy, and ice shards always ricochet off frozen enemies, so we really want to keep stuff frozen. Super helpful. Hitting an enemy with 5 ice shards is single cast, makes them vulnerable for 2 seconds. Really nice for bosses, and vulnerable does a lot of damage. It's really nice. It increases the base damage by 20%, but you can get some more in your gear and do a little bit more damage with that. Next, we're going to be using teleport. It's only 1 point in here. I'm getting the point, as you can see at the top, from the element or the item contribution. And then we're going to go over to the right and get the shimmering teleport for the damage reduction. This is our movement skill. And what's really nice, and I didn't realize this, is essentially you become unstoppable, which I didn't understand what that meant. And for those of you who don't, it does tell you at the bottom. I just missed it. So if you get stunned and you're in a really bad position, you can teleport. It'll break your stun, and you can go to wherever you need to be to get out of there. It saves your life quite a bit. This is Frost Nova. We're going to put 5 points in there just for the cooldown reduction. It's really nice. Essentially, it's going to freeze everything, and we're going to take the mana per enemy hit just because we need a bunch of mana. If you want, you can do the vulnerable for 4 seconds, increase to 6 seconds against bosses. It's really nice, but since we're using the ice shards and we just have to hit them with 5, it's really easy to get vulnerability onto bosses. Hydra is going to be our conjuration. I don't know. It seems way better than the ice blades. I messed around with them. I didn't really care for them. I preferred Hydra with a point into the summoned Hydra burn ability. And then we're going to not get any of these from one of these mastery. Skip down for your ultimate. I prefer deep freeze. It does okay damage and it chills, but the deep freeze at the end does a lot of damage. And what's really nice is when it freezes, remember, we're all about that freeze because we're doing a lot more damage with it. So we'll get that, and then the big thing here is to get the last one for the deep freeze for the non-ultimate skills, get the cooldown reduction. That'll work really nice for teleport and for your what's it called? Frost Nova. That's what it's called. And lastly, we're going to be doing Shatter for a little bit more AoE. If you think you have enough AoE and you don't want to be doing that, you can go for the one above it for Avalanche, which is really nice, but you need to get your lucky. Shatter, essentially, if you freeze, after it freezes, enemies expires, it's going to explode for 25% of the damage. It's really nice. Now, I skipped over all of the little passives, so we'll go ahead and just go in there. And again, this is just for leveling. This is not min-max. This is not for endgame. This is just leveling. At one point, and align the elements just for the damage reduction. As you can see, I have 40 because I've been standing here. But as you go to pack, you'll get some damage reduction up there, which is nice. Precision magic, your lucky hit chance is increased by 15%. Just been playing around with the lucky hit stuff. It seems really nice. It works well. For your next passive down here to Icy Veil, barriers have 5% increased duration. Absolute garbage. Do not put any more points into this ever. If you look at the defensives here, that lasts for 6 seconds. This lasts for 2 seconds. So for 3 points, you can get a whole 15% more duration on there. It's garbage. The only reason we took it is because I was playing with Snap Freeze, which worked okay. Don't really know if it's worth it, but it's nice. I enjoyed it. These 4 points here are completely optional. The build will work without it. Down here is where a lot of our damage comes. Frost skills deal 15% increased damage to elites. You deal 12% increased cold damage to vulnerable enemies. We're always making stuff vulnerable. It's great. You deal 9% increased damage to chilled, 18% increased damage to frozen. We're doing a lot of chill, a lot of freeze. And then lucky hit, cold damage against vulnerable enemies have a 20% chance to generate 15 mana. Really nice for getting that mana back. So that's it for the skills, and since this is for the leveling, we're not going to do Paragon, especially because I haven't played with Paragon at all. I hit level 50 on the Necro, decided to re-roll over to here, so haven't really done anything with it. But that's the build. We're just going to go real quick just so you can see the Wombo combo. Actually, nope, we forgot. We're Sorceress. Our enchantments. For enchantments, we're going to use the Ice Shards enchantment. And the reasoning for that is it's super, super good. Ice Shards automatically conjure and fly towards frozen enemies. We're freezing all the time. That's free damage. On top of that, we're going to use Frost Nova enchantment. That's a lucky hit. The conjuration skills have a 30% chance to unleash a Frost Nova when hitting enemies. So conjuration is going to be our Hydra. So when our Hydra goes and we get the lucky hit proc, it'll cast the Frost Nova for us. Now, the reason we have these two is because when we Frost Nova, Frost Nova, it's going to freeze everything around us. And then what happens is anything that's frozen is going to get an ice shard shot at it. And then since they're frozen, those ice shards are going to ricochet. It does a lot of damage. It clears out packs really quick. So we're just going to run through here just so you can kind of see the Wombo combo. I guess I should have found an elite here. There really isn't an elite. Either way, it's going to be the same. You're going to drag all of this on top of an elite. Do that. And you'll see the shards just go everywhere. So really, just a nice big Wombo combo. Get your mana back up and then you continue on the path. When you freeze and everything's in there, like if everything's like, let's say the Hydras are the pack, right? And there's a like the boss is over here and I'm right here. So Hydras are the pack, the boss is here. You're going to want to sidestep up and then shoot into the pack so they ricochet all in there. You're shooting in a straight line and you want to make sure that the projectiles have a way to actually ricochet into where they need to be. This level really well. I had no issues with anything. This character did not level through the campaign. It leveled through just in the world. I did a lot of the exploring here. As you can see for Fractured Peaks, I pretty much have everything. I'm missing 3 side quests. I can't find them. So out in the world doing all this, doing events. Most of the events I can time generally 99% of the time. Some of them I can't just because it feels like minions don't spawn enough and I have to get them to stand in a certain place. But generally, if you're trying to level a sorceress, this build works really well. I really enjoy it. You have the mobility, you have a ton of freeze. It's a good time. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it's helpful. I'm going to keep tweaking the build for endgame and see what I can come up with here. but I just wanted to give you guys a quick video on what I'm working on in Diablo 4, where we're going, and what it's looking like. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!